Well, today we greet you from another famous corner, Waveland and Sheffield. A Harry Carey statue greeting fans as they head on into the Budweiser bleachers. We're set for the leadoff man here on WGN Sports. The Reds and Cubs wrap up a four-game weekend. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. It's the Hyundai leadoff man. We have our Stats Sunday today, and my partner happened to write the blog piece. We'll have more on that. Amazing performances coming up. The Cubs have dropped the last two after winning on Thursday night to start this series. They've all been close games, two-run decisions. Let's get into the highlights of Saturday afternoon here at the ballpark. Kind of a lazy Saturday afternoon, wind blowing in once again, and the Cubs grabbed an early lead off veteran right-hander Bronson Arroyo. David DeJesus with a two-run single in the second inning, making it 2-0 Cubs. Travis Wood, maybe his best start as a Cub. He would get a no decision, 7 innings, 5 hits, only 1 run allowed against his former team. He would also tie his career high with 8 strikeouts. 8th inning now, James Russell in, Sean Camp not available. A lot of right-handed hitters for the Reds, and Ryan Ludwig knocking in a couple to give the Reds the lead. They would score 3 times in that 8th inning. And then the Cubs have to face Aroldis Chapman, the hard-throwing left-hander. He comes on to get the save for the second consecutive day. Arroyo went 8 innings. He gave up just 2 runs, gets the win. Russell takes his first loss of the season. And again, Chapman with save number 27. Coming up today, Brooks Raley, the left-hander, will get his second big league start for the Cubs. Johnny Cueto will go for the Reds. The Hyundai leadoff man is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
It is Stats Sunday today. My partner Bob Brenly joins me, and we try to make Stats Sunday fun, but I have to admit sometimes it's like eating your vegetables. But today we're going to veer off to the left a little bit, and this is like eating dessert early. And the idea here today is some amazing statistical performances.
Yeah, a lot of things happen in the game of baseball. That's why we come every day. You never know what you're going to see, but we picked out some selected little nuggets that we thought would be interesting for our fans, including the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays on September 14th, 1987, up in Toronto at Old Exhibition Stadium, set a major league record, hitting 10 home runs against the Baltimore Orioles. Ernie Witt, the catcher, with 3. Rance Mulliniks, 2. Former Cub George Bell with a couple. Lloyd Mosby, Rob Ducey, former Cub Fred McGriff. I've never seen that, obviously, but I'd love to see it someday for the Cubs.
Yeah, every day you show up, you never know what you might see. You might see a third baseman make 4 errors in an inning and later hit a game-ending home run. We'll have 1 per inning. Some great statistical nuggets for you as we move along today. Let's check out our Cubs minor league report. Tennessee combining to shut out Huntsville 2-0. Jorge Soler with a grand slam for the Peoria Chiefs. We'll have video of that a little later. And Trevor Gretzky 2 for 4 with a couple knocked in as the Mesa Cubs took on the Angels. We'll have more from Wrigley Field getting you set for Cubs baseball next.
By your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata at myhyundaichicago.com.
Getting you set for Cubs baseball today, and as we get into mid-August, some pennant races are heating up and some starting to stretch out a bit. The biggest lead in baseball, the Yankees with a 6-game edge in the American League East. Let's go first to third. The Yankees did, however, have to place CC Sabathia on the disabled list with a left elbow injury. They're going to sign Derek Lowe, but it doesn't sound like he's going to go into their rotation. He'll pitch out of the bullpen. The Nationals have a 4.5-game lead over in the East, but Atlanta has won 3 in a row. They're not buried just yet. 4.5 games out over in the East. Again, Rayleigh, the left-hander. Cueto, the righty. We'll have the Cubs and Reds from Wrigley Field. Stay with us. the plaza out front of Wrigley Field, that home plate entrance, always packed on game day as the fans get set to file in. And we're set for Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Reds and Cubs wrap up the 4-game weekend set, and we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Great to have you with us. It's Bob Brenly, Len Casper with you. The Cubs trying to earn a split in this 4-game series. A lot riding on it for the Reds. They were able to snap a 5-game skid the other day, and all of a sudden their lead's up to 4.5.
Well, the Reds relying heavily upon their pitching staff this year, especially with Joey Votto out of the lineup. You see where they sit in the standings going into play today. Very balanced ball club that the Cubs are playing here in this 4-game series.
Yeah, and the Pirates have dropped 3 in a row. In fact, they were shut out by former Cub Jason Marquis of the Padres last night. Left-hander Brooks Raley will make his second big league start and get his Wrigley Field debut today.
You know, his career got off to a pretty good start in San Diego. He struck out Kristen Norfia, the leadoff hitter for the Padres, but it went downhill after that. Needs to throw more quality strikes, and with the wind blowing out today, needs to keep the ball down.
Safe to say Johnny Cueto's the best starting pitcher not enough people know about these days?
Oh, absolutely. You go back to last season, over his last 2 years, 47 starts, his ERA has never been over 2.63.
Let's go down to the field. We'll get you set for the game as God Bless America and the national anthem are to be performed.
America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above.
From the mountains,
to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Messmers with God Bless America and our national anthem. We're set. Game 4. Wrap up this series coming up. The Reds and the Cubs from Wrigley. Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designated driver. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
And time to take a look at today's Mazda drive to victory. And what the Reds need to do today is lean on their ace. Johnny Cueto, as Len mentioned a moment ago, one of the best pitchers in the game nobody knows about. And for the Cubs, they need to limit their mistakes. 5 physical errors the other day, numerous mental errors. The way the roster's configured right now, they need to cut down on mistakes. Drive to victory brought to you by your local Chicagoland Mazda dealer. See your Chicagoland Mazda dealer for a test drive today at driveamazda.com.
Overcast and the wind blowing slightly out, which is a huge change from the last couple of days when it howled in. And today's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. Cubs Spanish voices, Hector Fabregas and Omar Ramos. And make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. It's brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, nationwide agent serving the area for 33 years. Contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. It is Stats Sunday. And amazing performances, the topic this week. Generally, it's a one-day performance, but we've got a few over the course of several days. And Cub fans who were around back in the 70s will remember this. Pirates and Cubs, there weren't many people at the ballpark when it happened. But Rennie Stennett went 7 for 7, the most hits in a 9-inning game.
I was a teammate of Rennie Stennett's with later on in his career with the San Francisco Giants, and I bought an entire house of furniture from him after he got released.
The paid crowd that day, 4,932. Times have changed. Now the Reds starting lineup. Zach Cozart, the shortstop, will lead it off. Drew Stubbs is in center. You see how they do when he scores. He's actually scored a run in all 3 games. Brandon Phillips, a huge series. Ludwig with the game winner yesterday. Todd Frazier's had a big weekend. Jay Bruce has not. This is only his 2nd game of the series. Former Cub Miguel Cairo's at first. Catcher Ryan Hannigan bats 8th, and Cueto, the pitcher, hits 9th.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today. Behind Brooks Raley, brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. It'll be Soriano, Jackson, and DeJesus left to right across the outfield. Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo once again, 3rd to 1st across the infield. Steve Clevenger doing the catching today for left-hander Brooks Raley. He mentioned his Major League debut against the Padres on the last road trip. Started okay, but kind of fizzled out after that. You have to attribute some of that to the tremendous amount of adrenaline he must have had coursing through his veins in that ball game. Hopefully a little more settled in today, can throw a few more strikes.
Ron Culpa is a home plate umpire. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, at first. Alan Porter at second, and Jim Wolf is at third. No mea culpa jokes today, okay?
No. I'll stay away from that.
Every game in this series decided by 2 runs. The Cubs took the opener. The Reds have come back by winning Friday and Saturday afternoon, and here is their leadoff man, Zach Cozart. Joey Votto on the DL. Scott Rowland still day-to-day with back issues. The Reds have generally been rolling right along. They did have a 5-game hiccup after winning 22 of 25, but they're trying to win their 3rd straight today. Raley's 0-1. Tapped on the ground to Rizzo, and he will step on the bag for the first out.
Well, that's what you want to see with Brooks Raley on the mound. Weak contact all day long. A little bit of movement on that tailing fastball. If he can work that to the outer part of the plate, get his slider off the inside corner of the plate, keep that ball off the barrel of the bat as often as possible.
Drew Stubbs fouls off. 75 degrees, just perfect. Pretty calm. 2 miles an hour out of the southeast, so technically a crosswind, although right now I think the wind is 0.
Not doing much of anything right now, which generally means the ball will jump.
And it's an adjustment today for both teams. They did take batting practice, but I'm sure the outfielders made note of the wind. Their first movement really had to be to their left and in the last 2 days, but that's not going to be the case today.
And they may position themselves a little deeper to begin with as the game progressed, especially 2 days ago with that howling wind blowing straight in from left center. All the outfielders, especially the left fielder and the center fielder, playing 8 or 10 steps more shallow than they normally would, but normal position today, maybe a step or two deeper than they would normally play. You mentioned checking the flags, Len. That's something that the Cubs outfielders should do before every pitch, and you hope the visiting outfielders neglect to check the flags.
That was one bit of advice Hall of Famer Billy Williams gave David DeJesus in spring training. He said, check that wind before every pitch. A couple of blades of grass, toss them in the air. Called strike 3. A fastball for the second out.
Our Xfinity pitch tracks, you see a series of pitches right down there below the bottom of the knees. That's where Brooks Raley has to live, especially against those tough righties in this Reds lineup today.
Now Brandon Phillips, who hits when he can see and when he can't. He had a couple late in the afternoon yesterday. You could just tell by his body language he had a real problem seeing the pitches because of the shadows. Oh! He looks at a strike. Well, he's got 8 hits in the series, including 3 doubles.
And unofficially, at least 5 or 6 of his 8 hits have come to the opposite field. A couple line drives into right, couple bloopers into right, a few ground balls that snuck through that right side.
We'd love for you to keep in touch at LennonBob@Tribune.com. That's our email address. We're also up on Facebook and Twitter as well. .63 southpaw Brooks Lee Raley dealing and gets another foul.
A starting pitcher on the day he throws, it's kind of a solitary existence. I got to the ballpark after the team left the clubhouse to come out for batting practice, and Brooks Raley was in there basically by himself. A couple of the clubhouse attendants. Traveling Secretary Jimmy Bank watching the basketball game on TV. Brooks Raley just sitting in his locker collecting his thoughts, looking over the advanced scouting report, getting ready for today's game.
Pride of Uvalde, Texas. Bit of a Bernie Brewer look with a Cubs cap on. Castro has to charge, and he gets him to end the inning. Reds go 1-2-3. The Cubs are coming up against Johnny Cueto. Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. David DeJesus knocked in the only 2 Cub runs yesterday. Barney, Rizzo, Soriano, who's knocked in 8 over his last 7 games. Castro, Valbuena, Brett Jackson back in the lineup. Steve Clevenger catches and Raley does the pitching.
Take a look at the second best defense in the National League. Only the Braves have made fewer errors than the Reds. It'll be Ludwig, Stubbs, and Bruce across the outfield this afternoon. Frazier, Cozart, Phillips, and Cairo third to first across the infield. Veteran Ryan Hannigan doing the catching once again this afternoon for right-hander Johnny Cueto.
And as DeJesus steps in, they did correct. It's not a southeast, a southwest wind, which is what we thought. So technically, for the 9th time in the 55th home game, is blowing out here at Wrigley. Cueto trying to tie for the major league lead with his 15th win as DeJesus flies out to Drew Stubbs. All right, how about this? You want to make your head hurt? We talked about this being dessert, not eating your vegetables. But back with the Royals on July 1st, 2005, David DeJesus actually batted first and second in the first inning. His manager, Buddy Bell, made a lineup mistake, gave the wrong lineup to the umpires. So DeJesus leads off with a single. Mike Scioscia, the Angel manager, then goes to home plate umpire Jerry Crawford and says, "This is not the lineup I have." So Angel Berroa, who is listed in the leadoff spot, was called out. DeJesus then was told, "You've got to bat again. You're hitting second." And he flied to center. So instead of going 1 for 1 in the first inning, he had 2 at bats and went 0 for 1. As Barney flies out.
Go figure. You know, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often, Len, because most managers, especially at this point in the season when you've got some nagging injuries and guys that need a little bit of rest, and it's not uncommon to have 3 or 4 different lineup cards on your desk that afternoon. Okay, if so-and-so can play third, this will be the lineup. If he needs a day off, this will be the lineup, and so forth and so on. And I'm surprised it doesn't happen a lot more than it does.
Anthony Rizzo, aggressive, swinging at the first pitch. He slammed his bat down as he knew he was going to make it out, and he does as he pops out to Frazier. That was a quick 4 or 5 pitch. 5 pitch first inning. Ooh.
Battle the Astros tomorrow night. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive an exclusive limited edition Starlin Castro bobblehead, compliments of D'Agostino's. For more information and to purchase tickets, as always, visit Cubs.com.
So Johnny Cueto and Brooks Raley each with a 1-2-3 first inning. Raley back out there facing Ryan Ludwig. He won the game with a 2-run double in the 8th off James Russell yesterday.
And no, the Starlin Castro bobblehead doll does not come with a little tiny bag of sunflower seeds.
Way up in the air to center. Brett Jackson is under it. Cubs very familiar with Cueto. The Reds totally unfamiliar with Raley. And you've talked in the past about a day like this in the visitors' dugout. I'm sure there's a lot of conversation going on between the guys who've already batted and the guys who will come up.
That's the best scouting reports you can get. I mean, even with one start under his belt, there is some video homework to do against Brooks Raley. But the best report you can get is from fellow teammates. Back to the bench describing his arm angle, the movement on his pitches. As familiar as the Cubs are with Johnny Cueto, you think they'd be a little bit more patient. Against Cueto, when batters swing at the first pitch, the opposing average is .212 on the first pitch. Now, whether the count goes to 1-0 when the average jumps up to .370 or 0-1 when it jumps up to .452, seems like you'd be better served getting a real good look at that first pitch and then going to work against the Reds' right hand.
A little delay here as a fan got hit by that foul ball just past the Cubs dugout, right behind it. We want to let our AT&T U-verse viewers in Chicago and around the country on WGN America know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high definition channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that'll show you all our different live camera angles here at Wrigley Field. Pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, you can give a look to AT&T U-verse channel 780 or HD channel 1780. Again, we wait. And now we will resume. And we certainly hope that fan is all right.
He's conscious and talking and now getting up out of his seat to head for some medical attention. Hopefully he'll be fine.
Here's the pitch. Outside on a curveball. Frazier 7 for 11 in the series, 2 2-hit games and had 3 hits on Friday. On the right field line and foul. Good to see that gentleman leaving under his own power. Cutters popped up. And Rizzo calls for it. Now Jay Bruce, who got a couple of days off, he had been scuffling. The two-time All-Star went 0 for 4 in the opener with 3 strikeouts, and this is his first action since Thursday.
And it comes against a left-handed starter when Dusty Vailable had some other options in the outfield, but wanted to get Jay Bruce back in there, maybe figuring facing a lefty will help cure his ills at the plate. I mentioned it a few days ago. Sometimes when a left-handed batter struggles, put him in there against a left-handed pitcher, really force him to hang in there, battle that breaking ball, think about going to the opposite field.
A bouncer to Barney. Raley has faced 6 and retired all of them as we go to the bottom of the second. 0-0. amazing performances. How about 21 strikeouts by Washington's Tom Cheney back on September 12, 1962. You don't hear about it because it happened over 16 innings.
You know why he was smiling, Len? Because he knew he didn't have to pitch the next day.
That's right.
16 innings. Woo.
There's a great piece in 1997 in Sports Illustrated about Tom Cheney's feat, written by Brad Herzog, and he pointed out 4,098 people were at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore to watch it. And he also pointed out that Cheney had fewer wins, 19, and strikeouts, 345, in his entire career, which spanned 8 seasons, than Sandy Koufax did in 1965. Herzog also pointed out 42 pitchers have gone at least 18 innings in one game, including a bunch of Hall of Famers, but only 8 of those 18 even got to double digits in strikeouts. Tom Cheney fanned 21 Orioles. Two-two the count on Alfonso Soriano. Cueto had a 5-pitch first inning. That's a 5-pitch at bat as Soriano misses a slider.
Hey, Cub fans, if you want to manage a game along with Dale Swaim, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Castro lines to third, caught by Frazier. Hit hard, but right at the defender for the out.
We haven't really talked about Cueto's arsenal of pitches so far in the ball game. He'll throw a fastball, a slider, changeup. Those are his 3 basic pitches. He will throw an occasional curveball when he gets on top of the slider a little bit more, and an occasional cut fastball. But when he's got his primary 3 pitches working, you'll see a fastball, slider, changeup mix.
R.A. Dickey, David Price, and Jared Weaver tied for the major league lead with 15 wins. Cueto currently tied with A.J. Burnett and Gio Gonzalez with 14. And Luis Valbuena pops into center. Stubbs with the catch. We haven't had a base runner for either team through 2.
Pitch swung on, driven out to left center field, going back at the track, at the wall. This ball is out of here. That's a grand slam.
Nathan Believa, the voice of the Peoria Chiefs, with the call. Jorge Soler with a grand slam for the Chiefs. That's our Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible player. And it's brought to you by the Illinois Lottery, who each day make anything possible. Back here at Wrigley Field, as we get into the third inning, great to have with us our good friend Howard Sudbury, the Senior Director of Marketing and Communications out at the Arlington the Arlington Park for the Arlington Million, coming up right here on WGN and WGN America.
It is. It's the 30th anniversary of the Arlington Million. And if you think about it, we haven't been blessed with a lot of World Series games in Chicago. I think maybe in the next few years we'll get one here. We haven't had a Super Bowl, but this is a world championship that people can count on every year. So this is the 30th running of the Million and 4 really big races that day.
That'll be next Saturday, August 18th at 5 o'clock. And Howard will be joined by Dan Roan and Eddie Olczyk.
Yeah, Eddie, he loves hockey. He loves his Blackhawks, and he really loves horse racing. So he's the perfect guy to have in the booth with Dan and I. And Dan loves the horses, too. So it's going to be a good time.
Del Cairo flies out to DeJesus as we get underway here in the third inning. Israeli's been really good here early on.
Yeah, you're going to have about an hour and 45-minute game here.
Oh, you just jinxed it.
I did. I did.
Well, it is Stat Sunday. We're talking about amazing performances, and neither pitcher has given up a base runner yet. So talking about going out to the ballpark, and you just never know on any given day.
Could be something special going on.
That's right.
But as far as the Arlington Million goes, the telecast is on GN. We're great to broadcast in Chicago and on WGN America. But for anybody that wants to come out to the track, we're expecting about 35,000 this year. Most of the reserve seating is gone, but if you go to arlingtonpark.com, there are some options. You know, you've watched the Kentucky Derby and the infield, what goes on out there with 60,000 people. Well, in the park at Arlington Park is the Million Party Zone this year for $65. All you can eat and drink. There's a live band, and you get to watch great races and bet on the horses. Can you beat that?
I don't think so.
As long as you win.
That's right. That helps. 1-1 on Ryan Hannigan. So the big race is 1.25 miles.
The Arlington Million is 1.25 miles, yes. And like I said, the top horses, jockeys, trainers from all over the world in for that. There's also two. Grade 1 is the highest level of racing in America. There's also 2 other Grade 1 races, the Secretariat and the Beverly D, and a new race this year.
Castro to take care of Hannigan.
No problem there. A little closer than I thought, but. A new race this year, the inaugural running of the American St. Ledger, which is 1 mile and 11/16. So they start in the backstretch, they go around twice. And there they go.
And they're off.
Go ahead, give us a call, Bob.
No, you're the horse racing announcer.
Now the horses don't chase the electronic rabbit, right? That's dog racing.
that would be the greyhound stuff. No, I tell you, the horses, the level of horses in these kinds of races are amazing because they are athletes and they know they're good and they recognize the crowd. You can tell in the paddock that they're cocky the way they strut around, and you can really tell that these are special athletes, and they really are.
Rayleigh has gotten behind the pitcher Cueto, 2-0. One on the inside corner, 2-1.
I didn't jinx your quick game yet.
No,
it's going okay.
Good swing there by Cueto, now 2-2 after the foul.
But it's great to be involved with WGN for the second year in a row, because if you're going to have a premier sporting event in Chicago, which this is, it needs to be on television for people that can't get out to the track. So it's also nice to put it on across the entire country so they can watch this great world-class sporting event.
Deflected by Rayleigh. Barney should have time. Nice barehanded play.
Very good.
To finish the inning. Howard Sudbury, the Senior Director of Marketing and Communications out at Arlington Park. The Arlington Million coming up Saturday at 5. Thanks, Howard.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you.
Right at the end of old Comiskey Park's tenure, Andy Hawkins of the New York Yankees threw a no-hitter but lost to the White Sox 4-0. Yes, there were errors involved. Mike Blowers, Jim Leyritz, Jesse Barfield. Quote after the game, Hawkins said, "I got beaten, that stinks, but I still threw a no-hitter that will never be taken away from me." Well, they did. The following year, 1991, MLB redefined what a no-hitter was. It has to be 9 innings without allowing a hit. 9 innings or more. And that was the weird thing about it, Bob. He had an 8-inning complete game. The complete game was not taken away from him, but the no-hitter was. So if you had a rain-shortened no-hitter, that doesn't count. How about that?
Well,
I mean, it's one thing to lose 1-0. That's happened before, but 4-0 you lose and you don't give up a hit.
All I know is Andy Hawkins would not have ever thrown a no-hitter against the Giants, because I used to wear him out.
10 for 17 against Andy Hawkins.
Yeah, with a couple of bombs. Don't ask me to explain it. I just saw the ball real well against him. He was a good pitcher back in his time, but just one of those rare guys that I actually did well against.
1-2 on Brett Jackson. Sat out yesterday, had a collision with Starlin Castro on that bizarre windy day on Friday. Got hit near the AC joint, which is right at the top of the shoulder. So it was just generally sore yesterday, but back in there today. Brett's 2 for 17 with 11 strikeouts. Oh, somebody's getting married, or they are married.
Multi-purpose rooftops over there. Chapel Love.
And a base hit. So Cueto gives up his first hit. That's the first base runner of the game.
Speaking of rooftops, Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF.
That's Jackson's first hit since his major league debut, when he had 2 against the Dodgers last Sunday. The batter is the catcher, Steve Clevenger. Johnny Cueto's only 26 years old. Signed back in 2004.
He does a lot of the peripheral things well also, Len. 9 stolen base attempts against Cueto this year. Only 1 successful steal. You combine that with Ryan Hannigan behind the plate, who's thrown out 38% of attempted base stealers this year. Doesn't figure to be a high percentage proposition trying to run on Cueto today.
7 pickoffs. Got such an exaggerated hip turn in his windup. If he did that from the stretch, guys would run on him with regularity.
Well, for most guys, Len, their stretch position is just an abbreviated version of their windup. But for Cueto, it's two completely different deliveries. Very quick with that slide step to home plate. No sign of a shoulder or hip turn like we see out of the windup.
Last year he fell 6 innings shy of qualifying for an ERA title. It was 2.31. It would have ranked second in the majors behind only Clayton Kershaw's 2.28. His ERA last year was never higher than 2.36. And over the last 2 seasons, only Jared Weaver and Justin Verlander have better earned run averages. And over his last 47 starts, over the last 2 years, his ERA has never gone above 2.63. In almost half his starts, 11 of his 23, he's allowed 0 or 1 run.
Stats just keep on coming when you look at Johnny Cueto. He went 169 innings between home runs to right-handed hitters. He last gave up a home run August 17th last year to Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals. The next home run he gave up was to Eddie Rodriguez on the 2nd of August this year to a right-handed hitter.
And remember, Eddie Rodriguez, that was the first at bat of his career for the Padres. They were former minor league teammates. Full count, 3-2. Runner goes, ball 4. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Brooks Raley can help his own cause here. Get down a bunt. Runners at first and second. Nobody out.
Unless the Reds have some kind of a trick defensive bunt play on here, Raley should try to bunt the ball to third base. Force Todd Frazier to come in and make the play. The wild card is you key off the shortstop. If Zach Cozart breaks to his right to go cover third base, that's an indication that Frazier is going to charge hard from third. So as a batter, in this case Brooks Raley, you key off the shortstop. You watch what he does. If he holds his position in the middle of the field, you try to bunt it to third base. If the shortstop crashes toward third, most managers allow their pitcher to swing away in that situation because it means the third baseman, the first baseman, and the pitcher are all going to be charging to field the bunt. Hannigan trying to walk that one off. One of the toughest situations for a catcher to receive a pitch cleanly when a batter's trying to bunt, because many times when they get that bat out there laying flat across the top of the strike zone, it's right in your line of vision as a catcher. You have to try to either duck underneath or get up high and look over the bat to see the pitch coming into the hitting zone.
There's the bunt, pretty hard one. Play's going to go to third, out there. And a fielder's choice for Raley. They'll go 1-5. Cueto pounced on that ball.
That's probably the single most important factor in what kind of bunt defense you play. Can your pitcher get off the mound and field his position? Look at Cueto, just shoots off that dirt mound, gets to the ball quickly, throws to Frazier, who had thoughts about going for a double play. Fortunately, Brooks Raley, hustling down that first baseline, eliminates any possibility of a double play.
Here's DeJesus with 2 on and 1 out. We got a nice email from Michael Rusnick following up on our Andy Hawkins 4-0 loss in a no-hitter back in 1990. The following start for Hawkins, he suffered a 2-0 defeat at home against Minnesota. He went 11 2/3 innings. That's some bad luck right there. 2 starts, 19 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 losses. And then his next 2 outings, Bob, 4 1/3, 4 1/3, 8 runs each start. So you knew the luck would, or the good stretch would run out, and it did. There's either a group here, or everybody just coincidentally happened to coordinate really well. 2-1.
David DeJesus has as good an eye for the strike zone as any hitter in the National League, and that is not a strike.
Three and one.
Should be 4-0. Talked to David during batting practice today and complimented him, Len. He puts together as consistent of an at bat as anybody on the Cubs roster, maybe of anybody in the league. Sees a lot of pitches, generally makes hard contact when he gets a pitch to swing at. And if you watch him take batting practice, it's the same approach that he takes into the cage early in the morning and then carries it right over into the ball game. A lot of guys will use batting practice just as an opportunity to get loose, swing the bat a few times, try to hit some balls out onto Waveland Avenue. But David takes his batting practice approach right into the game with it.
Cubs didn't make Cueto work very hard over the first 2 innings, but they are here in the third. Chris Capuano of the Dodgers took a no-hitter into the 7th, but Jose Reyes broke it up with a single for the Marlins with 1 out in that inning. Runners not going, called, strike 3 at 96 on the corner.
Man, that's a tough at bat for David DeJesus. Seven pitches in that at bat according to our Xfinity pitch tracks, only 1 in the strike zone.
So that leaves it up to Barney. The battery on base. Clevenger at second and Raley at first. Dodgers lead that game. I was referring to 1-0. They're in the top of the 8th at Marlins Park. Right field, and it's Jay Bruce. 26 pitch inning, but Cueto works out of it. Bob and I will broadcast from the Budweiser patio in the Budweiser bleachers. Would you like to join us? Just send in a postcard with your name, age, address, email, and phone number to WGN-TV, Budweiser patio with Len and Bob, 2501 West Bradley Place, Chicago 60618. One lucky winner will get to bring 3 guests and sit alongside us in the Budweiser patio. For more info, go to WGNTV.com/contests. Cubs with a pretty good opportunity in the bottom of the 3rd. A leadoff single by Brett Jackson, then a walk by Steve Clevenger, but could not get a run. One and one on Zach Cozart. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Cozart celebrating his 27th birthday today. He's had 13 homers this year. That's the most ever by a Reds rookie shortstop, shattering the previous mark of 5 set by Billy Myers in 1935. Missed outside, and it's now 2-2. As we continue Stats Sunday, incredible performances. The Minnesota Twins on July 17th, 1990 turned 2 triple plays, 2 full innings of outs on 2 pitches, and they lost 1-0. 4th inning and 8th inning triple plays. DeJesus over makes a nice running grab as he bangs into the sidewall padding. 1 out.
And David getting a little too familiar with that padding on the side wall over there. He's been chased over near foul territory an awful lot in this series. Able to make a nice running catch and hang on as he bangs into that padded wall down the right field line.
The Twins are the only team in Major League history to turn 2 in one game, and it came in a loss. Stubbs lifts in the air out into shallow right. This will be DeJesus again.
Stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Captain Morgan. Raise your glass, always in moderation, to life, love, and loot. Our buddy Dave Otto.
Yeah.
Singing the 7th inning stretch today and regaling us with some stories.
Yeah, the guy in the striped shirt is not Dave Otto, but it is his doppelganger. Raley has struck out only 1. He's gotten some help from his defense. As he deals on a 1-0. Phillips pops it up. Brooks Raley 1, 2, 3 for the 4th consecutive inning to start the game.
To 1990, Jody Davis, 2-time All-Star, won the Gold Glove in 1986. One of the all-time Cub favorites. Xfinity Home offers state-of-the-art features that help you stay connected to your home and family anytime and anywhere.
Strike to Anthony Rizzo. His former teammate is Cubs radio man Keith Moreland, and we want to send out get well wishes. And he came to work today.
Yes, he did.
The fine producer and engineer of Cubs baseball on the radio, Matt Bolts. He suffered a pretty nasty bicycle accident. He's behind that big box there on the left, sitting next to Judd Surratt. There you see his arm. He probably doesn't want to be on camera. Boy, he took a nasty spill yesterday, trying to avoid getting hit by a car. But he's the Cal Ripken of engineers.
Yes, he is. He's a gamer.
Can you believe he only took 2 stitches? He is making sure we do not show his face. See, we had to avoid him earlier today because he couldn't laugh, because it hurt to laugh.
And that's what we do here at the ballpark.
That's right.
Leading up to game time is we laugh a lot. Boltsy was having a little trouble with the chuckles today, causing him some discomfort.
Rizzo out into right center. He almost collided. Bruce makes a catch.
Potential for disaster there. Bruce coming over from right field. Stubbs with great speed coming over from center. Normally that's the center fielder's ball, but Bruce reaches up at the last instant, takes the high road, and makes the catch.
Ball 1 to Soriano. Strike 1. 1-1. 4 more against the Reds next weekend in Cincy, including a day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Both teams will be able to, if they'd like, to call up a starting pitcher from the minor leagues, and they don't have to send anybody down. Can't just bring up a reliever. It's got to be somebody who starts. Cueto wanted that pitch, didn't get it. 2-1. Shallow center. Stubbs now backpedaling as he makes a catch. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Bob, there's cloud cover everywhere. We haven't seen the sun today, but you see it's a white sky, and that's why Drew Stubbs actually was shading his eyes.
Actually, a lot more glare than you would expect on an overcast day here at Wrigley Field. Very tough looking up in to that sky.
And the inning is over as Castro flies out to center. Scoreless, the pitchers have thoroughly dominated through 4. The Curious Bank, member FDIC. Quite a Wrigley debut to this point for left-hander Brooks Raley, second major league start. Perfect through 4 as he faces Ludwig, Frazier, and Bruce here in the 5th. Ruling one of the best in the league in Johnny Cueto. Raley was a Cubs minor league pitcher of the month for July. The ground to Castro. Not a good throw to first, but dug out by Rizzo.
Hey fans, come watch the Cubs as they take on the Astros on Wednesday afternoon. Game time is 1:20 right here at Wrigley Field. Throughout the game, lucky seat winners will receive special giveaways, compliments of Frito-Lay. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
On the inside corner to Frazier. Raley in his big league debut on Tuesday night, first lefty to make his major league debut in a start. There's a base hit, and the Reds get their first base runner. Comes with 1 out in the 5th after Raley had retired 13 in a row. Now a look at our forward upcoming Cubs schedule. We're back on WGN on Wednesday afternoon, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man, Astros and Cubs. 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. The first Cubs lefty to make a start in his major league debut since Ryan O'Malley did on August 16th of 06 in Houston. 8 shutout innings and a 1-0 win, and that was one of the games Bob talked about on the blog today. Amazing performances. Found out about 6 in the morning, right? He was coming up.
Yeah. Just an amazing day. His parents found out that he was called to the major leagues, but the small town they lived in, they couldn't get to an airport or couldn't find a flight to get to Houston for the ball game. Fortunately, there was another resident in their small hometown that owned a private plane, found out about the story, and flew the O'Malley family down to Houston so they could be there for Ryan's major league debut. I still get a lump in my throat thinking about that day. What a moment.
High drive to right. Well hit. DeJesus has run out of room. And just like that, the Reds lead 2-0 on a Jay Bruce 2-run homer. That snaps an 0 for 13 for Bruce.
Cub fans are booing. Reds fans are saying Bruce. We mentioned earlier maybe Dusty putting him in there against the lefty to try to get him going mechanically. Stayed in there on that inside fastball. Cast it high in the air to right field. Just enough wind blowing out to push that one up into the bleachers.
Bruce with his 22nd of the year. He's one of 5 National League players with 25 doubles and 20 homers. Alfonso Soriano is another guy on that list. All of a sudden they're starting to square up Raley as Cairo hustling to second, and he's in with a double.
We talked about the word-of-mouth scouting report, and second time through the Reds lineup, they're starting to get some better swings on Brooks Raley. Hard contact that time, chasing Soriano toward the left field corner. Throw was slightly offline. Starlin Castro had to cut it, and once he cut that ball off, no chance to get Cairo at second.
Cairo takes off for third. He's going to get the bag without a throw.
Boy, that has become a common refrain for the Cubs pitching staff, not paying enough attention to base runners at second base. Cairo just had a walking lead, kept going, and actually broke for third before Raley even picked up that front foot.
And the Cubs have to bring their infield in. Ryan Hannigan, ball 2.
Outside.
3-1. Cueto on deck. And ball 4. So after 4 1/3 perfect innings, Raley has given up a single, a 2-run homer, a double, and a walk. Chris Bosio out to the mound. A reminder, tickets are available for the remainder of the 2012 Cubs season, including the next series as the division rival Houston Astros come in starting tomorrow night at Wrigley Field. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
And we're talking about the unusual today on our Stats Sunday, and one that I didn't alert our staff to, but it just dawned on me. Former teammate of mine with the Toronto Blue Jays, Dave Stieb, had a run of 4 games. I don't think they've ever been equal. His last 2 starts of the 1988 season, the next to the last start of the year against Cleveland, had a no-hitter broken up with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 9th inning. Julio Franco with a single, breaking up that no-no. He went 9 innings, gave up 1 hit. His final start of the 88 season, same thing. 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 9th. Jim Traber with a base hit to break up the no-no. You roll around to the 89 season.
Cueto bunts. Cairo holding. Hannigan to second. Sacrifice bunt.
So after finishing the year with 2 near no-hitters, 2 outs, 2 strikes in the 9th, he begins the 89 season with a horrible outing when 8 innings gave up 4 hits and 1 run against the Royals. And then his second start of the 89 season, once again, a 9-inning 1-hitter. And the 1 hit was a 5th inning single by the Cubs bench coach Jamie Quirk. So over the course of the last 2 starts of 88 and the first 2 of 89, he went a total of 35 innings and gave up 7 hits and 1 run.
Wow. Did you catch either of those in 89?
Oh,
You were there.
I wasn't there. Yeah, I was there, come to think of it, but no. Of course I didn't. I would have been sitting out in the bullpen rooting hard.
Second and third, 2 outs. A 1-1 count on the leadoff man Cozart, who's 0 for 2. That's a fair ball, backhanded by Valbuena, and that'll end the inning. Now, you've told me many times, Dave Stieb, very, very underrated guy. third bank, the Curious Bank, for FDIC.
Just as a cherry on the sundae of the Dave Stieb story, he ultimately did get his no-hitter on September 2nd, 1990 against the Cleveland Indians. But people ask me all the time, who was the best pitcher you ever caught? And I tend to overlook Dave Stieb because I was in Toronto for such a short time. But you talk to hitters of that era, he was filthy. Had 3+ pitches, tremendous competitor. And any day he took the mound, he was a threat to throw a no-no.
Ball one inside on Luis Valbuena. Fouls it off.
By the way, Dave Stieb played his college ball at Southern Illinois down in Carbondale.
Cueto working with a 2-0 lead, looking for his 15th win. Foul tip. 2-2. Pop fly left center, and Ryan Ludwig forwards out number one. Remember this, 1999. Cardinal third baseman Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers. Now, to hit 2 grand slams in an inning is amazing. Come up twice with the bases loaded is rare, but the fact that the same pitcher stayed in the game that long to give up 2 grand slams is incredible.
It makes you wonder if there wasn't something going on with the Dodger bullpen that day, that they needed to extend Chan Ho Park and get as many innings out of him as they possibly could, because you generally don't hang around for the 2nd grand slam in 1 inning.
Cubs have 1 hit. That was Jackson's leadoff single in the 3rd. There's a 2-1 that missed. 3-1.
Cueto has experimented to ultimately come up with the delivery that he has now, with that windup where he pivots and turns his back to home plate. We talk a lot about hitters that have a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that have to come together at exactly the right time in order to be effective. And with that delivery, you get the feeling that Cueto could get out of sorts rather easily. It hasn't happened to him yet this year, at least not for any extended period of time, but a lot of moving parts out there on the mound.
Well, it has worked for him.
Worked for Louis Tion too.
Yeah. The Reds are 16-7 in Cueto's starts. In their 7 losses, the Reds have scored 1, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1, and 1 run. swing and a miss for strike 3. His third punch out today. A little high. And a tailing fastball. 1-2. The dirt. Raley is on deck. Only 2 runs coming on a home run by Jay Bruce in the top of this 5th inning. Cueto off the mound. That's it. We head off to the 6th. 2-zip Cincinnati. Include a great guy who doesn't get enough publicity. Matt Boltz, the Cubs radio producer and engineer. And the stats on Matt today: 2 stitches, 1 bike accident, 9 innings, 1 bruised ego.
And now we're making him laugh over there again.
There's his picture right there. See, we made him laugh, and it hurts for him to laugh. No good deed, right?
That's right.
Underway in the 6th. Strike 1 on Drew Stubbs. Brooks Raley's had 4 perfect innings, and then that 2-run 5th.
There he is.
said it hurts to laugh today. But
so we
love him.
We all made our way one by one into the radio booth and made him laugh.
The cut is right above the. It's right on his upper lip there. And, he didn't really have to describe where he fell. It's pretty obvious just looking at him.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. This year, Budweiser will donate $5,000 for every Cubs walk-off win to Folds of Honor. Find us at facebook.com/Budweiser to see how you can help support our nation's soldiers and veterans.
Outside.
Here's a 2-2 offering. It's outside, 3-2. Brandon Phillips waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. He got him. Raley has 2 strikeouts. They both come against Drew Stubbs.
It's always big to get the leadoff hitter in an inning, but especially in this circumstance, Stubbs the best base runner the Reds have on their roster, and the man at the plate now, Tony Phillips, as I mentioned earlier, has just been wearing out the right side of the field in this series. Put a runner at first, it opens up that hole on the right side, giving him even more chances to drive the ball to the opposite field.
Brandon Phillips lines, and it's caught by DeJesus in right. Tumbling catch. Well, then there's the other side of the incredible, amazing, and what? Ron Wright of the Seattle Mariners, April 14th, 2002. One major league game. He went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a double play, and a triple play.
Oh, man.
He was a designated hitter for the Mariners, batting 7th against Kenny Rogers. And in a New York Times piece written by Lee Jenkins in 2007, Wright said it was, quote, the best day of my professional life. Of course, it's your major league debut. But that would be it. 3 at-bats, 2 balls in play, 6 outs. He got in due to an injury to Jeff Cirillo.
That's 3 more big league at bats than most.
Yeah. As the triple play developed, this is according to the New York Times piece, Mariner manager Lou Piniella said, quote, I could see it developing like a thunderstorm on the Gulf. He actually had been called up previously a few years earlier by the Pittsburgh Pirates, but did not get into a game. But he said, I was only 21, September of '97. Quote, I had tons of years ahead of me. Well, he had 1 game ahead of him.
Outside.
Fly to left. Soriano going back on it, and he won't have a play. Front row of the bleachers for Ludwig. His 21st. His ninth career homer here at Wrigley.
I was just going to say, Len, a couple of homers against Brooks Raley today. I don't believe either one of them would have gotten out of the ballpark with the winds the way they were the first 3 games of this series, but very little wind, and what little bit of wind there is blowing out today. Ryan Ludwig takes advantage. High fly ball to left field. Soriano back to the vines, can only watch it sail up into the front row.
What a year for Ludwig. As we talked about the other day, you got the impression from a lot of people in that clubhouse that he's their MVP this year. As Frazier picks up his 9th hit of this weekend. Todd Frazier is 9 for 12 in the series. Check that, 9 for 15 in the series.
The tradition of throwing back opposing home run balls has been long standing here at Wrigley Field, but the crafty Cub fans always bring an extra ball just in case they do catch a home run ball. That's not the one Ryan Ludwig just hit, but we won't tell anybody.
Didn't have to. All right, let's try take 3. 9 for 14 for Frazier.
Whatever.
He's had a great weekend.
Yeah, it's been really good.
He had 2 hits Thursday, 3 hits Friday, 2 hits yesterday, and 2 more today. Certainly been a big reason why, as Bruce sends another high fly to right, why they've been able to win without Joey Votto. Ryan Ludwig homering, making it 3-0 Reds in the 6th. Not much happening for the Cubs today. A couple of base runners on a single and a walk, and they both came back in the 3rd inning. The 2013-3 series with X-Drive is here. Visit your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW Center today. The test drive one. Adrian Cardenas broke up the A.J. Burnett no-hitter in the 8th inning on the last homestand. Will pinch hit for Brooks Raley. No to break up today. Jackson has that lone Cubs hit. Well, Brooks Raley was a lot better today than he was in his debut. He was perfect into the 5th, and as you said, both home runs different days may not have gone out.
Much better at attacking the strike zone today. Only the one walk to Ryan Hannigan. He was hoping for better results, but much better effort today from Brooks Raley.
2-2 to Cardenas. Knocked down by Cozart from his knee. Safe at first. Cardenas with a base hit. Good effort by Cozart.
It didn't look like Cozart fielded that ball cleanly. Hit off the heel of his glove. Dropped right underneath his body, but by the time he's able to recover and throw from a knee, Cardenas is able to leg it out for an infield hit. Nice effort by Cozart. But the Cubs have the leadoff man on here in the 6th.
Manny Corpus up for the Cubs. Jesus smacks that ball into right. And the Cubs will bring the tying run to the plate with nobody out.
Hey fans, don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Astros this Tuesday night right here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 7:05, but make sure you arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs replica game cap brought to you by Comcast Sportsnet. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Barney is flied out twice. Frazier in at third. Double play depth around and bunted foul by Barney. Did not look like a sac bunt. He was trying to bunt his way on.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to push that ball to the first base side of the field. If it were a sacrifice bunt, he would try to bunt it to Todd Frazier at third, but it looked like he wanted to push that one past Johnny Cueto over into that Bermuda Triangle and try to leg it out for a base hit.
Plate inside. Want to make a correction about the 26th man. It does not have to be a starting pitcher, but I've not found a case in which it's not a pitcher so far this year, and in most cases it is a starter. But I do believe the rule is you got to keep that guy up for both games of the doubleheader, and then you have to send him right back after the doubleheader. Again, the Cubs and Reds will play a makeup twin bill next Saturday in Cincinnati. Can't really imagine a situation, Bob, in which you would not bring up a pitcher for that extra spot.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Even if you don't use the guy, at least you've got the security of knowing you have one extra arm in that bullpen. Should your starter in game one get blown out early and you have to go through a whole lot of bullpen to finish game one, it helps to have that extra arm for game two. which involves a little forethought on the part of the organizations planning ahead for that day of the doubleheader, making sure that the guy you want to call up is rested and ready to go.
4, 6, safe at first. Barney hustling to break up that doubleheader, double play, doubleheader on the mind. So only one out. That could loom large here. Rizzo coming up, runners at the corners. Ooh, really close.
DeJesus could have done a little better job of disrupting that double play attempt, but it's safe to me. There's an art to breaking up a double play too, Len. Depending on which side of the infield the ball is hit to, will tell you where you should slide. If it's a ground ball hit to the right side of the field like that last one, the shortstop is going to come across the bag and end up on the second base side of second base. If it's a ground ball to the left side, the second baseman is probably going to come across the bag and end up on the shortstop side of second base. So as a runner going from first to second, that determines which line you take depending on where the ball is hit.
Really the second chance the Cubs have had. They had that opportunity in the third. First and second, nobody out. That's going to take Cozart right to second base, and that's going to end the inning. 6-3 on the double play. Off to the seventh, 3-0 Reds. That's For the Girl by the Fratellis. That's a band that does Chelsea Dagger, the Blackhawks theme song, so to speak. That's our Bud Fan Cam, brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Big double play to end the 6th. As Rizzo hit it to the shortstop Cozart. Cairo with a rainbow to Brett Jackson. Well, we mentioned Ron Wright. We got to mention John Pachorik, whose major league career consisted of 1 game with Houston back in 1963, the Colt 45s. He went 3 for 3, took 2 walks, and scored 4 runs. So he is the only major league player in the history of ever to finish his career with a batting average of 1,000 and at least 3 at-bats. Blaine Farrell with a nice email reminding us of that. I know John's brother Tom real well. Jim, all 3 played in the big leagues. Guess he had a back injury that just kept getting worse and worse after that major league debut, and when he recovered, it was a little too late for him to get back to the show. That clipped Hannigan. And they'll bring up Cueto.
Tailing fastball, looked like it just caught Jersey there, just above the belt. His shirt's untucked a little bit. We could clearly hear it on our field mic.
Self-defense. Well, with a pitcher at the plate, how about this? Livan Hernandez. We know Livan can hit. But back in 2001, he had an amazing stretch for the Giants. Dusty Baker was his manager. He went 12 for 13. Had a 4 for 4 game here at Wrigley Field. 11 years ago yesterday. He went 8 for 8 at one point. Wade Boggs never went 8 for 8. Tony Gwynn did it once. He got the win on August 11th, 2001. 4 for 4, 3 RBIs, and hit a home run off lefty Will Oman. A pitcher going 12 for 13. Anybody going 12 for 13.
Really?
That one punched out into shallow right center. Base hit. Well, I guess that's appropriate, talking about pitchers hitting. Good effort by Barney. Kind of swiped at that ball at the last second. Couldn't get it.
Unfortunately, that ball just not hit high enough in the air for Barney to get out there and get underneath it. You mentioned that swipe attempt right at the very end. This comes up a little short. Brett Jackson right there to back up the play, hold the runners at first and second, keeping the double play in order.
Slider missed. 2-0. Now the Levo note is not the only Giants crazy statistical performance involving manager Dusty Baker. The other one goes back to the mid-90s, and you were there to witness it as a coach on the Giants staff. Mike Benjamin set a record. He had 14 hits over 3 games.
Crazy.
And 2 of those games were here at Wrigley Field.
Mike Benjamin was 3rd on the depth chart at third base for the Giants that year. Matt Williams was injured. Steve Scarsoni, the backup third baseman, also was injured. So Mike Benjamin was plugged in and went crazy.
That's the other part about it. He was not the everyday guy. Candlestick Park, he went 4 for 6 against the Expos on June 11th. Day off the following day. Then here at Wrigley Field on June 13th, 4 for 5. And to cap it, a 13-inning game on June 14th, went 6 for 7. Dusty said he was going to pinch hit for him, kept waiting for the streak to end, and he just kept getting hits.
Benjamin was a guy that was more known for his glove and his arm. He had a cannon for a throwing arm, could play third, short, or second base. Real valuable utility guy have off the bench. He ran pretty well, but the bat was never a big part of his arsenal until that streak.
And during that streak, he broke up a Frank Castillo perfect game in the 7th inning. Here's Jackson, 2 outs.
Hitting the road, take the Cubs with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cubs out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Cubs.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Benjamin was hitting 150 going into that game on June 11th. And after June 14th, he was at 447.
That's beautiful.
14 for 18 with a double, a homer, 4 RBIs. Oh! First base side, Rizzo gives it a look. No play. Our buddy Dave Otto coming up with the 7th inning stretch. Looking good.
Dave Otto threw 6 no-hitters in his major league career. 3 right-handed and 3 left-handed.
He hit 3 grand slams in an inning.
Yeah, off himself.
Oh, yeah. Strike 3. 7th inning stretch time.
His guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Cubs pitcher Dave Otto.
All right, Cub fans, good and loud. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root, root, root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's at the old ball game. Let's go! get some runs.
With a quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. Johnny Cueto looking for his 15th win as he works into the bottom of the 7th. And great to have with us our good friend Dave Otto, former Cubs pitcher, and a broadcaster with the club, and all-around good guy, the pride of Elk Grove High School. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, I was all conference at Elk Grove. I'm doing well. That was a little nerve-wracking.
Well, obviously you were president of the Glee Club there, too. That was outstanding. Beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye.
Well, the lovely Katie Marta told me yesterday, asked me if I could sing, and I'm driving home, and I stopped at a gas station. You ever get to a point where you forget where you are? And I'm pumping gas, and I'm practicing singing this thing. And there's a guy looking at me with his arms crossed. I put $2 worth of gas in, and it just took off.
Soriano to lead off the 7th. Ball 1.
Well, you've had an opportunity, you were telling us during the break, to see Reds closer Aroldis Chapman. It's kind of like watching yourself.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's the comparable.
Yeah.
When
throws a lot like you used to.
I couldn't throw like that on a train going 70 miles an hour.
I was asking Bob, what about Chapman mechanically, or what is it specifically that he does that allows him to throw that fast? It's just all the mechanics work together perfectly?
Yeah, and I always look at it as like a rubber band. If you have a rubber band that's stretched out really far, it's going to go a lot faster, and he gets everything out of his body.
The other question is, and the Reds stretched him out to possibly join their rotation this year. Ryan Madson got hurt before the season even started. They put him in the bullpen. I mean, if they're ahead in the 8th inning, the game is over.
Absolutely. Well, if I'm the Reds, I like him at the end. I mean, certainly he could start, but my goodness.
Bassett's hurt. I mean,
probably just depends on where you feel you have the most depth. As you said, Madsen at some point will be back. They've got Massett. They've got Logan Ondrusek, all guys that are capable of closing.
Sean Marshall.
Yeah, Sean Marshall. If you happen to slide Chapman into the rotation, you have some logical candidates to close. Did you ever have that kind of controversy in your career, whether it be a starter or a closer? Or?
No, it was either middle relief or long relief. That was for me. Or AAA. Yeah. One of the three. Boy, it reminds me, I mean, the big unit back in the day, and you had that in 01 with Schilling in the big unit. And I think it's clocked higher than the big unit, but I imagine the big unit just as filthy.
The 3-2 to Soriano. Just missed, and he held up. Time now to take a look at our AT&T Ubers replay. Our producer Mark Brady thought this guy looked just like you.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you what. It's
over on one of rooftops. That's faux auto. There you go. See what's possible with AT&T Uverse high-speed internet. AT&T, rethink possible.
It's better than Lurch. That was my nickname, so I'm better looking than Lurch.
Take it. Second walk given up by Cueto. Here's Starlin Castro. 0 for 2. Takes that pitch high, and now Hannigan will go out and talk it over. It's a transition year, Dave. Been watching Jeff Samardzija pretty closely. You have to be impressed with how he's made that transition.
You know, it seems like a more confident guy. The times that I've talked to him this year, and that just comes with experience and having a couple of good outings under his belt. And you know, that fastball, geez, rushes it up there, and then when he has that split finger fastball, it's lights out. That game in Atlanta, oh, man. Bad hair though.
Bad moss.
I guess I might just be jealous.
There's a little of that going on up here, yeah. I tell all these guys, let it grow, let it hang down your back, because the day will come when it's all in the shower drain. You know.
Cut by Castro and fouled it back. Let's talk about some of the managers you played for, Dave. It's Tony La Russa, right? Jim Leland.
Super.
What was it like with Tony in Oakland?
Tony was such a great leader. You know, not too many clubhouse talks, but when he spoke, everyone listened and took care of the big boys too. Where, you know, guys like Jose Canseco or Mark McGuire, if they stepped out of line, he was always there to, you know, correct that. He didn't let that slide. And as far as preparation, I mean, very thorough.
Certainly went out on top last year.
Yeah. Boy, that doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't. Valbuena on deck. Cubs trail 3-0. Had Cueto on the ropes twice, but he's been able to get out of it. Dave's ride is arriving.
Yeah, that's right.
Tropper's landing out in the street.
Castro made outs on the first pitch in each of his first 2 at-bats. He lined out hard to third the first time, flied to center. Second at-bat, and fouls this one back.
Dave, without looking up your career, were you ever on a team that was going through a rebuilding program?
Oh, Cleveland. Yeah. We lost 105 games in, what was that, 91. And that was just the start of guys like Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Sandy Alomar, and they were all locked into long-term deals. Jim Thome was just coming, and you knew it was there.
This is Bruce and Wright. They ramped up to the opening of their new ballpark.
Right.
Had a great run in the 90s.
You know, and they built up with those type of players from the farm system or via trades. But then when they were close, then they filled it in with, you know, the free agents. Or then you go to the market to plug in the gaps.
There's Brian Price, a pitching coach. Who was the best pitching coach you ever had, minors or majors?
Oh, man. I had some good ones. Mo Jabrowski, I really enjoyed him. He was a pitching coach here in Chicago. Ray Miller was really good.
Work fast, throw strikes, change speeds.
That's right.
Yep.
All 3. Yeah, he was terrific. He always had a rule too, and anytime a hitter fouls a ball straight back, next pitch automatic changeup, because he's got you. You know, that hitter's got you centered. And it was something that I had never thought about, but yeah, if you give up a straight back on your fastball, come back with that changeup. And yeah, me start a game one time with the changeup and triple off the wall, and I looked in at Ray Miller. I tipped his cap to him. I'm like, thanks a lot. I'm gonna throw a changeup first pitch in the game.
Well, Chris Bosio talks a lot with his pitchers about the direction of the foul balls and what that does tell you about a hitter. Whether he's early, late, or right on you.
I just knowing Chris a little bit. I think he's super. He is old school. I like that.
We're talking about, amazing performances, bizarre games, careers, what have you. Anything come to mind from your career that was out of the ordinary?
It's a AAA. I went 3 for 4 in the game. That's about it. Yeah, they screwed up the lineup card, and all of a sudden I'm in the game and I'm hitting.
You weren't even supposed to hit?
I wasn't supposed to hit, and all of a sudden, and I was raking.
I like it.
Yeah, and I should close the yearbook, but it was 3 for 4.
Nice.
All on the nose.
Sure. They probably pitched around you in that 4th at bat. Sure.
Valbuena pops out to 3rd. I was talking with Chris Spire, former Cubs coach and player, and now the bench coach for Dusty Baker, about our Stat Sunday today, and he reminded me to look up the game in which he knocked in 8 runs against the Philadelphia Phillies. It was with the Expos back in, I believe, 1982. It was from the 7th spot in the order. And he said in his final at bat, with the bases loaded, he lined out to Mike Schmidt, who made a diving catch. He said, if that ball goes into the corner, it's an 11 RBI day.
Wow.
And every time I came up, the bases were loaded.
Oh. Boy, he looks like he could still go 8 for 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
Man.
Brett Jackson, Josh Vitters just getting their feet wet. We'll probably see Vitters in 2, if not all 3 of the games coming up against Houston. One chopped and barehanded by Phillips. What a play. The Gold Glover does it again. Dave Otto, always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Take care.
Couple of homers for the Reds today off Brooks Raley, the starter. Bruce with a 2-run shot. Ryan Ludwig a solo blast. And the Cubs with just 3 hits off Johnny Cueto, a Cy Young contender. Visit your local Chicagoland Honda dealer today and test drive a 2012 Honda Accord. Here's Sean Camp. Cubs stayed away from him yesterday. He's been really busy this season. That's why James Russell worked the 8th inning. And it's Camp today with his team down 3. And Phillips with that barehanded play made it look easy. It was far from it. Hard hit ground ball to Castro.
Occasionally Brandon Phillips will make the ill-advised attempt at a barehanded play, but he felt like he needed to make the barehanded play in order to get the out at first base this time. Well, I've talked about it many times, whether it's a third baseman picking up a bunt with the bare hand, or in this case a second baseman charging and making a barehand play. You rarely go from the barehand catch to a good throwing grip as quickly as you need to. Sometimes you end up throwing a changeup or a split-fingered fastball, but that time Phillips able to make the barehanded play, get the index and middle finger on the ball, and made an accurate throw to first base.
Ludwig homered in his last at bat. We sent out happy 21st birthday wishes to John Nowak. Rooting on the Cubs today here at Wrigley. Sliders away 2-0.
I'd like to send a personal thank you to Marcia Roberts from San Diego, California. Sent me a real nice handmade anniversary card. My wife Joan and I celebrated our anniversary a few days ago. Thank you very much, Marcia. That was nice of you.
Jesus has it. And we wrap up Stats Sunday today. Go back 6 years, 2006. I remember seeing the highlights of this. The Dodgers down 4 runs to the San Diego Padres. Start the 9th inning with 4 consecutive homers to tie it. They would then win it on a Nomar. Well, I guess he was Nomar because he was out of Boston, right?
Yeah,
home run in the 10th.
He was still wicked good.
Four consecutive home runs. That's why the Cubs are down 3-0 late, but you never know. Special thanks to Doug Stanton, Mark Stensel, Bob Borwald for helping us out, compiling, coming up with all the great oddities in baseball. Recognize Christensen Chevrolet for its support of Highland Little League. Christensen Chevrolet and your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers are supporting leagues and young ball players in their communities through the Chevy Youth Baseball program. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. Bronson Arroyo went 8 yesterday. Turned the ball over to Aroldis Chapman. Johnny Cueto working into the 8th on a 3-hit shutout. See if Dusty decides to use Chapman after 2 in a row. He's got a couple of guys up in his bullpen right now. As Ludwig makes a catch, and that was inadvertent, but I think it was inadvertent. The ball ended up rolling right near the Reds' left fielder. That could have been interesting.
Pulling Carlos Marmol out of the way there, and somehow a ball got loose.
Pinch hitter Brian LaHare swings and misses, strike 1. Cueto trying to get to 500 against the Cubs in his 16th career start. He's 5-6.
If there were no radar guns and you watch Johnny Cueto pitch, you'd say, oh, he's just a trickster. He's out there with that gimmick wind up and turns his back to the batter and all that stuff. But you look at those radar gun readings. He's still throwing in the mid-90s here in the 8th inning.
That's LaHare to fly out to left. A lot of fly ball outs today. Including pop-ups, counted I think 15 flyouts. 2, 3, 14. And when you think about it, wind not blowing hard, but slightly blowing out. If you said you're going to hit the ball in the air a lot today, you'd probably take it. But a lot of them, Bob, have been lazy fly balls.
Either just a little bit down toward the handle or just a little bit out toward the end of the bat where you don't really get all of it.
Another one. This one is pretty well hit, but it's going to be caught. And that's that. Still 3-0 Reds.
Drive of the game. 2-run homer off the bat of Jay Bruce. That came back in the 5th inning. Brooks Raley had been totally in command up to that point. Gave the Reds a lead. They haven't looked back. Get to your Nissan dealer for special offers. Nissan innovation that excites. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Personally, for our Nissan drive of the game, I'd have gone with Dave Otto's 3-for-4 day at AAA, but we couldn't find any video footage. So,
in his word, he was raking. Now Carlos Marmol. Cubs trailing 3-0. First pitch fastball to Jay Bruce. In save spots, going back to May 2nd, Marmol's gone 13 for 13 with an 0.73. Just hasn't had a ton of opportunities. Good slider that dropped off the table. 0-2. See what Bruce has done against Marmol. He went. That's it. Strike 3. Dodgers beat the Marlins today 5-0. Mentioned Chris Capuano had a no-hitter into the 7th. Chapman's up along with Alfredo Simon, the righty. Dodgers win 2 of 3. 3 RBIs for Hanley Ramirez against his former team. American League Final. Blue Jays 10, Yankees 7. Rajay Davis tied his career high with 5 RBIs. And robbed Casey McGee of a home run. I think it's a 10-foot wall in Toronto, and he went up and got it. One of the best catches, if not the best catch of the year. Marmol loses his glove as he knocks down the ball and gets the out. Nicely done.
Smile from Carlos Marmol. If you do that intentionally, if you throw your glove or your hat at a ball intentionally and make contact, it's automatic 3 bases. But that was once again inadvertent. Just stuck the left hand out there. The ball hit up near the webbing of the glove, pulled it right off his hand, and scampers after the ball in time to get the out at first.
One and one. Red Sox split with the Indians in their 4-game series. 14-1. The Red Sox were a winner today. Going to extras in Philadelphia. Cardinals and Phils tied at 7. Each team with 3 runs in the 8th. Eric Kratz tied the game with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th. Carpenter has 4 hits for the Cardinals. Manny Machado homered again. He's hit 3 in his first 4 big league games. Baltimore beat Kansas City 5-3. Hannigan draws the walk.
Talking about oddities, the other day Manny Machado hit 2 home runs in one game. Both were caught by the same 15-year-old fan. Saw that happen in Colorado a few years ago. A gentleman, I think, caught 3 home run balls in one game running around the bleachers at Coors Field.
Xavier Paul's going to bat for Cueto.
Johnny Cueto had a little better day today than he did 2 years ago on this day in baseball history, when he was suspended by Major League Baseball for his part in that brawl against the St. Louis Cardinals. A 7-game suspension for Cueto. Several other members of the Cardinals and Reds also suspended for their part in that brawl.
Cueto today gave up no runs on 3 hits through 8 innings as he tries to get his 15th win. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance now for the Cubs. Paradise Music Festival. Brought to you by Bud Light Port Paradise Music Festival. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Well, here he is, our oldest Chapman. 2 days ago, got the final 4 outs with 3 strikeouts. Yesterday, got the final 3 outs with 2 punch outs, so he hasn't allowed a base runner. He got it up to, what, 103 yesterday? 102? It had 3 numbers on it, I know that.
I think that was the same speed he was caught speeding earlier this year. One of the times he was caught speeding earlier this year. Drives like he pitches.
87 on a slider. Hannigan totally missed that one. 98. 1-1.
One thing to throw it by a hitter, but when you throw it by your own catcher, and that wasn't even his best fastball.
And Barney turns on 98 for a base hit.
Swing hard, you just have to swing quick. That time Barney gets that bat through the hitting zone in a hurry, had to pull his hands in very close to his body to get the barrel on the ball, and lofts it out into left field for a leadoff single.
Rizzo looking for his first hit today. Chapman has not allowed a run in a while. In his last 20 2/3 innings, including the Barney hit, he's only given up 9 hits during this stretch, with 3 walks and 44 strikeouts. So he struck out more than half the batters during the scoreless streak. 44 Ks, now 76 batters. Rizzo pops, and it's going to be Stubbs to take it. Time now for our Budweiser player of the game, Johnny Cueto, a couple of outs away from, at least for the time being, jumping into the major league lead with 15 wins with a few other pitchers. Jared Weaver's dealing for the Angels today. Player of the game brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Yeah, not only did he pitch well today, got down a sac bunt, made a nice play on a sac bunt, and got a base hit. He was a busy man today.
Jared Weaver going for his 16th victory. Angels are tied at 1 with Seattle in Anaheim in the 5th. Another one at 101, inside 1-2. This is the 27th game the Reds have played since Joey Votto went down and had to have knee surgery. They're trying to win their 19th during this stretch. That's incredible.
Many times, Len, that's really the determining factor on the kind of year you have when you look up in September. Because when everybody's healthy, you kind of know what to expect from your ball club. But when you lose a key member like Joey Votto, what your team does in his absence is be a huge determining factor in where you end up at the end of the season. And so far, the Reds have been able to do more than tread water while their MVP candidate was on the DL. We saw the Dodgers earlier this year when Matt Kemp went on the disabled list. They played extremely good with their MVP candidate on the shelf.
That did not feel good.
You see Soriano has that protector on the left ankle, on the inside of the left ankle, extending up the calf. Not Sure where that one got him, but from the sounds of it, it didn't hit that protected pad. Ooh, got him up, way up above the padding, up near the knee.
Pirates are leading late 11-5 over the Padres. They're in desperate need of a win with the Reds back to their winning ways. Old foul. Pirates 4.5 games out. They dropped 3 straight. Trying to end the Padres' 6-game winning streak. Strike 3 on a slider.
Battling at bat that time by Soriano. Ultimately takes that slider just off the inside corner for a called strike 3. Not a lot of movement. We talked about it the last couple of days. Not a tremendous amount of movement on that slider, but when you throw your fastball in the low 100s, an 89-mile-per-hour slider acts as a real good changeup.
Castro pops it up. This will do it. Brandon Phillips, as the Reds take the final 3 games of this series, and the Cubs suffer their 11th shutout loss of the year. 3-0 Reds, the final.